こんにちは、ハリケーンフットボールです。今回の教材は、リバプールの遠藤航に関する動画です。リバプールはすでに前節でプレミアリーグの優勝を決めていますが、今節のチェルシー戦を前に、スロット監督は試合前のプレスカンファレンスにて、出場に値すべき選手を先発させる考えを話していました。今回の動画ではRedmen TVの、この試合のプレビュー動画では、スロットのプレスカンファレンスの前に収録されたもので、スロットは変わらない先発で試合に臨むだろうとも話しつつ、サブのメンバーを起用すべきか、残りの試合でどのように起用していくべきか、などを話しています。もちろん遠藤航を起用したいとも話していますが、実際にどのように話しているのかチェックしてみましょ
う。Right then, enough of the housekeeping. Let's talk about the game itself, Chloe. This is going to be interesting now. Is Arne Slot's plan he just wants that 94 points, and I'm going to do the exact same thing as I was doing, and I'm going to pick the same lads, and they're all going to play the exact same way, or does he sprinkle in an Elliott, or an Endo,
Chiesa.
Or a Chiesa? Well, Chiesa, I'm sure Chiesa gets his medal, so he'll get a game at some point off the bench, but I'm trying to think, there's pros and cons to both. Are you looking after lads who have done a lot of footy, have a little rest, mate? Are you going to give game time to some of these others? My guess is it's going to be the former. He is just that relentless that it's just going to be same again.
Yeah, I think so, but I also think there's enough competition in the side where, you know, if you did see Curtis Jones instead of Dom, or, you know, Ryan Gravenberch. I mean, Ryan Gravenberch has spoke out about how it feels like he's been running on absolute flames. He's out of energy, that lad, but he carried on to get us over the line. Maybe now you see him, you know, maybe get a little bit of rotation, a bit of rest. Diaz has obviously done loads for us. Gakpo came in, I thought he looked really, really good. Finally, you know, coming back to the level that he was before his injury. You've got Costas and Robbo, you know, which one of them can play. And I don't actually know what was wrong with Conor Bradley on the weekend.
Just a knock.
Just a knock. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see there. But I think there's enough quality, and obviously I think some of the players like Chiesa, I think he's one game away from getting a medal, so you should see him get another appearance. However, I mean, unlucky for him, Salah's in his position.
He won't start, he'll just get off the bench at some point.
But yeah, I think we are ruthless, but I also think there can be changes made where Liverpool are still an incredibly good side. I mean, Harvey Elliott deserves some game time. I think he's been absolutely superb this season, and yet he's not being used as much as we want him to be. So there's some changes there that we can make, which is for rotation purposes only, so people can have rest, but Liverpool are still absolutely quality.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's whether he just wants to be nice to people, Abs, and go, you know what, you haven't played that much, you deserve it. Actually, you deserve a rest now. We've ran you into the ground. You can come out the team. Every sense you get from this fella is that he's a like football obsessive. He just wants to win, and you wouldn't be surprised if he just goes right same 11 all 4 games, and then but like with these lads sprinkling off the bench again.
Yeah, I could see him doing that, but at the same time, I think that Arsenal game's probably in the back of his mind, and I think if we got a big win at home against Arsenal, I think that'd make a massive statement to the whole of the league to say, right, you keep saying that we shouldn't have really won this league or whatever, or Arsenal had injuries or whatever. I think if we can have a really good performance against them at home, start your strongest 11 in that game, get a guard of honour off Arsenal, all of that stuff, which just sounds absolutely glorious. I think that's where you see the strongest team, but I think before that, I think that might be where you see a little bit of the rotation. I think that's when the likes of Curtis Jones do come in. I can't see him given any time for Chiesa apart from coming off the bench. I just can't see a world where he just goes, right, go on, you have your go. Maybe Nunes, I could possibly see a world where he gives
5 mil on the line.
They've denied that, haven't they? But
his tweet was just, I mean, was it real? Was it not real? His blue tick disappeared and it come back.
I'd be shocked if he started. Endo's the one I'm thinking of, because Ryan Gravenberch admittedly said, like, you know, the tank's been empty for a while now. There's also an irony in Endo playing against, getting a guard of honour off Moises Caicedo.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
I think if I could pick one player to guarantee to start, I think I'm picking Endo. He's become everyone's cult hero now, club, but also I am worried about, like, Ryan Gravenberch has played a lot. Like, he could do with a week off, I think, just, you know, what makes rest your legs. Because when a footballer comes out in the mitch, I'm knackered. It's probably time to take him out the team in what is effectively a little bit, for you, a semi-meaningless game. Endo feels like it could be an option there.
Yeah, and I think we've also got to look at, you know, the summer, there'll be some sort of, you know, international several games that they'll all have to play. And with the level that Liverpool have been playing at, the likes of Ryan Gravenberch, who, you know, a year and a half ago, wouldn't have been included and actually got snubbed by Koeman, was it? He's now going to be playing game in, game out for them. So yeah, you've probably got to look at the likes of Ryan Gravenberch, who played hardly any football at all last season, and yet is such a pivotal part of this Liverpool side, who for the first half of the season, you know, everyone was talking about needing a DM, and then he rocked up and produced an absolute masterclass for the first half. The second half of the season, I think you can see that he's grown a little bit tired, but, you know, he's still put in a brilliant shift for us and still being absolute quality. But yeah, he's a player that you probably do need to rest. Make sure that he is sound again for next season. You don't run him into the ground too much, because that's the problem. When you don't refresh or help the side, they do just run out of legs. We saw what happened to Jürgen's spine of a football team. Just completely, Fabinho's legs just went one season. That was it. So yeah, it'll be important to try and rotate a little bit. But like you said there, seeing Wataru Endo absolutely dominate Chelsea, I would love nothing more than that.
He'll be in my team every day of the week, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
it just gives me that little bit of safety though when I see him getting off the bench for the last 10 minutes. I'm like, right, okay, we've definitely won this game now. Whereas if he's already on the pitch, I'll be like, just need another Endo just to appear here now. But I can't. When you're talking about the summer and stuff like that, just to ask is, do you think that we will get another DM? I can't see a world where Liverpool, in terms of the way we spend money, I think there's too many other problemed areas. It's funny to say, considering we've won the league, that I can't see the club not just going, oh, Ryan Gravenberch is brilliant. Why would we buy another one of them when you need like maybe another centre back?
I think someone would have to leave.
Yeah, Endo would have to.
Endo might have to go.
Yeah. Would you rather keep Endo though?
Depends who the person
depends,
is. Yeah. I think it's one where you can. The money's going to be spent elsewhere first, and then you see what else you've got left. Or at the end.
The thing is that the reason why you do go and get another lad to help out Ryan Gravenberch is because Ryan Gravenberch's level in the first half of the season was absolutely unbelievable. And that kind of has petered out, and you've seen the likes of Alexis McAllister, who's then stepped up. And look, by petered out, I mean he's still being a solid 7 out of 10 pretty much every week, but it was just he was producing 9 out of 10s every single week, it felt like. So I think the reason that you go and get another DM is mainly to keep Ryan Gravenberch at that level, because if he gets a little bit more rest here and there, then he should be able to stay at that level consistently. He's still only young as well, so you don't want to put him under too much pressure and get him injured. And then, like I said, we've played with Wataru Endo, and he's been, like you said, a cult hero and brilliant off the bench. Yeah. But he has mainly been from off the bench in the last 10-15 minutes.
If you play him and you start him in these last couple of games, you get to see whether if something did happen to Ryan, touch wood, it doesn't, whether he could step up and play.
Should we try and predict his team rather than, because Alisson will be in goal.
Okay.
Van Dijk and Konate will both play.
Yeah.
Fill your boots.
Well, Trent's probably off in the summer, so just play Trent, I'm guessing, until
Bradley's
fit.
I would want it to be Bradley. I think Bradley should get all the minutes.
But
if he's carrying an injury, then don't bother. Yeah.
It's so difficult, because one part of me is like, yeah, I want to see that Conor Bradley can go again and again and do, like, I feel like that's a way to sort of show the club, oh yeah, he can carry on. We don't really need someone to replace him or make Bradley the number 2. Do you know what I mean? We need someone to sort of be cover for Bradley. So keep playing Bradley. But then at the same time, there's a part of me that's just like, if Trent wants to leave for no money and he's our player until, you know, the next 4 games, just run him into the ground.
It's like
not in a negative way.
When you're about to sell your car,
you're
about to sell your car, so you just run the petrol out of it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like run the petrol out of the lad, you know, use him, let Bradley rest, but then at the same time, you've got to make those decisions for the summer. I think it was Carragher that said that.
I would like it to be Bradley, but if he's not fit, if there's any doubt, then you play Trent. Left back will probably be, you'd think he'd probably go to Robertson, would you guess?
For me.
So midfield, we want him to play Endo, but what do you think he'll do?
No, I think he'll do Gravenberch, McAllister and swap out.
Yeah.
I think that's what we'll see. So maybe Jones gets thrown in there, possibly, but I think he does. I think he just starts the strongest.
Salah, Diaz, Gakpo?
Yeah.
No changes. We just
yeah, literally.
Honestly,
strongest team.
I agree with you. I wouldn't do that rather, but I think he will. I would definitely play Endo, and I would 100% play Harvey Elliott.
Oh,
the
Lord,
bookie.
Harry.
Do you think he would though?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not a manager.
What you do compared to what he do.
He'll pick the same 11. He's a freak, like in the best possible way. Like he's relentless, but I think he'll just pick the same ones. And then maybe what you might see is more rest and rotation off the bench.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be desperate to beat Chelsea, and I think he'll be desperate to beat Arsenal, and then whatever happens towards the end.
This was
I
also,
do think that 90 points thing means a lot to them. I really do.
This was also a Chelsea team that, was challenging us for the title, according to all the big pundits, early on in the season when they came to Anfield and we beat them 2-1. I think Kurt scores the winner in that.
They were good in that game.
So, yeah, they were really good in that game. They were possibly, at the time, the most competitive. That was the most competitive game of football we'd had. So I'd love nothing more than us to go to Chelsea and just completely batter them, because, this was a team that all you jokers decided that they were going to try and challenge us for the league, and now we could potentially put a massive dent in their Champions League hopes.
And it's Chelsea.
Love that.
It's Chelsea.
It's worth emphasising how much we dislike Chelsea.
Oh, yeah.
Don't underestimate how much dislike there is for Chelsea.
Also, I just would really like to see Caicedo and Lavia look at the champions and what they could have been.
That Guard of Honour is just going to be so funny.
That's why I want to pick Endo. I might pick him just for the Guard of Honour. I'd even sub him off.
Yeah.
Just I'm all in for it.
2 minutes in. Well done, lad.
Get his song bouncing off the away end. See you later.
次は解説です。相変わらずスカウス英語のせいでうまく聞き取れていないところもありますが、面白い表現もいくつかありましたので、早速本日の解説をチェックしてみましょう。
Right then, enough of the housekeeping.
ハウスキーピングはもともとは家の管理や掃除整頓といった意味の言葉ですが、ビジネスやプレゼン、イベントの冒頭では本題に入る前の事務的な連絡という意味で使われます。環境を整えるという整理、整頓の意味から本題に入る前の準備をすると連想された表現です。この用法は特に英語圏の会議やポッドキャストで一般的で、ハウスキーピングアイテムズやハウスキーピングノーツなどの形でよく登場します。覚えておくと、ネイティブスピーカーとの会話で非常に役立つ表現です。
Right then, enough of the housekeeping. Right then, enough of the housekeeping. Does he sprinkle in an Elliot or an Endo?
スプリンクルインは何かを少しだけバランスよく加えるという時に使う便利な表現です。料理で振りかけるという意味のスプリンクルが元になっていて、話にユーモアを加えるやチームに若手を入れるなど、全体を大きく変えずにちょっと加えるというニュアンスがあります。非常に口語的でナチュラルな言い回しなので、ニュースや会話でもよく聞かれ、使えると英語らしい表現がぐっと豊かになるでしょ
う。Does he sprinkle in an Elliot or an Endo? Does he sprinkle in an Elliot or an Endo?
Get a Guard of Honour off Arsenal.
ガード・オブ・オーナーは、選手たちが整列して拍手で相手を称えるスポーツ儀式を意味し、特にサッカーで、リーグ優勝を果たしたチームが次の試合で相手チームから称えられる際によく行われます。オフはこの場合、誰々からのという口語表現で、相手チームからガード・オブ・オナーを受けるという意味合いになります。この表現はニュースや解説、ポッドキャストなどでよく聞かれる、スポーツならではの言い回しです。
Get a Guard of Honour off Arsenal. Get a Guard of Honour off Arsenal.
Naturally got snubbed by Koeman, was it?
スナブは、人をわざと無視したり、何かから除外するときに使われる言葉です。特にニュースや SNS で、誰かが賞からスナブされた。代表からスナブされたといった表現をよく見かけます。これは誰かが当然選ばれるはずだったのに、あえて除外された、や落とされたというネガティブなニュアンスを含んでいます。つまり、単なる漏れではなく、冷遇された、軽視されたと感じられる状況です。人間関係でも、挨拶を無視されるような軽い冷遇にも使われます。
Naturally got snubbed by Koeman, was it? Naturally got snubbed by Koeman, was it? And then he rocked up.
ロックアップは、誰かが突然フラッと現れることを意味するカジュアルな口語表現で、予告なく登場する感じや、リラックスした様子が含まれるのがポイントです。例えば、約束もせずに友達の家に突然来る場合や、試合にいきなり登場する場合などに使われます。日本語では、やってきた、現れた、フラッと来たなどが自然な訳になります。アメリカではあまり使われず、ショーアップなどが一般的なので、イギリス・オーストラリア文化の映画や会話に出てくると覚えておくと便利です。
And then he rocked up, and then he rocked up, and that kind of is petered out.
ピーターアウトは、何かがだんだん弱くなって消えていく様子を表すフレーズです。例えば、 会話が徐々に沈黙に変わっていったり、試合で選手のパフォーマンスが序盤は良かったけれど後半に失速した時などに使われます。ビジネスでは、プロジェクトの熱意が途中からなくなる場合にもよく使われます。しぼむ、収束する、などが自然な訳になります。
And that kind of is petered out.
いかがでしたか？遠藤航を先発で起用したいと思うのは多くのリバプールファンが感じてくれているところではないでしょうか。来シーズンに向けても主力に無理させる意味はないでしょうし、遠藤に関しては彼らが話すように、グラフェンバークの代わりとなれる存在か、もっとプレー時間を与えられるのか、あるいは別の選手を補強すべきかを判断する良い機会になるのかもしれませんので、スロットにはそういう起用の方法もしてほしいとも思いますし、その中で遠藤には期待を超えるようなプレーをしてほしいなと期待します。息殺しされるよりは、来シーズンも使わないようなら放出してもらった方が遠藤にとっても良いでしょうから。残留するにしても移籍するにしても、遠藤にとってベストな選択ができることを願い、祈りながら、リバプールで最後の数試合かもしれないということも感じながら、残りの試合を応援したいと思います。本日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。またすぐにお会いしましょう。